guys, today I'm back with another declutter video. We are tackling bronzers and contours today. I will link to my previous declutters down below. Most recently I did foundations and concealers, of which I had over 100 in each of those categories, so those are an interesting watch. I obviously have an excess amount of items here, but first of all, YouTube is my job and I like to have a variety so that you don't get bored of what I'm using, so I can make recommendations and comparisons. And I will link to down below previous videos that I have that highlight my favorite bronzers and contours for tan, deep, medium skin tones, and I'm also working on a third one of those. And I also haven't decluttered in years for the purpose of having a really fun big ol' declutter video. So let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, another thing I want to mention is that my white blanket that I use in these, I know a lot of people get nervous about that. Not a family heirloom. Purchased it for $20 for Instagram and YouTube purposes. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here it is. I have 76 bronzers and I'm just laughing to myself thinking how funny it is because for the beginning of my makeup journey, I didn't even think I could wear bronzers. I didn't think, Rue, that's my cat. I didn't think they made them for my skin tone, and here I am with 76 of them. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. These are my single bronzers and contour sticks. I'm also gonna do a face palettes one because I realized I have a lot of face palettes, so I didn't include any of those kind of contour kits in here. Let's start with some of my favorites like we always do. This is the Kevyn Aucoin Sculpting Powder in Deep. I love this to the point where I broke it, repurchased it, and now keep it in its fabric case. This is amazing. It is the best contour shade I've ever used. It's so blendable, doesn't get muddy, incredibly expensive, but it's worth it to me. Another one of my favorites, and the first one I ever discovered that really truly worked for me, is the NYX Matte Bronzer in the shade Deep. I've actually used up an entire one of these. This is the one I'm currently using. I also have a backup. I mean, do I need a backup? Probably not, but it is a great shade and obviously more affordable than Kevyn Aucoin. These are the four These are the four bronzers that I reach for probably the most. On the end here we have Lorac Tan Lines Buildable Bronzer. Next up we have the Makeup Forever Pro Fusion in 30M. It's incredible, it looks like skin. Then the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in Ipanema Sun, and then the Guerlain Terracotta Bronzer in Natural Brunette number 3. I also have this one, which is newer to me. It's the part of the Makeup Forever Pro Fusion as well, but this is 35i, so it has a little bit of iridescence to it. And then this one is from Guerlain. It is their Sun Trio, and it looks kind of light, but it actually just adds a really nice, just a slight amount of definition to my skin. I don't like it as much as the other one, but it does work, which surprised me. Oh, and if I didn't make it clear, all of those bronzers that I just mentioned, they are staying because they're my favorite. From NYX, this is their blush in the shade Taupe, and this is a case of me just buying what everybody loves. It does not work for me. It's also cracked. I didn't even realize. It's just too ashy for my skin tone, but if you do have a lighter skin tone, it's a great true contour. From Wet n Wild, this is their Cushion Mega Cushion Bronzer. It's basically the same color as my skin. And then again, me being fooled by all of the trends and what everyone's talking about, NYC Sunny, a great bronzer. People seem to love it, but it's too light for me. So these three are going. Here are some drugstore bronzers that I do like. This is actually a Jordana powder foundation, or powder I think, in the shade Warm Amber. The Rimmel Natural Bronzer, and then the NYC Color Wheel Mosaic. So these actually all work for me and they're all drugstore. I really like the NYC one because it's matte, and then the Rimmel has a little bit of sheen to it, and then this Jordana one is quite matte but heavily scented. From Wet n Wild, these are their Photo Focus powders, and if you have trouble finding a bronzer that works for you at the drugstore, look to face powders. I'm gonna keep Cocoa and get rid of Dark Cafe, but these are a really nice, smooth, really finely milled powder. Let's talk Canadian makeup. I have Joe Fresh and Annabelle here. This Joe Fresh shade, in Shoppers it looked like it would be my shade, but it is not. From Annabelle, this is one of their Biggie bronzers in dark gold. I'm going to keep that, and then this is one of their matte bronzers in the shade Sunshine, and I really like both of these. The Joe Fresh one is actually really nice, it's just a bad shade for me. Let's keep it Canadian for a moment. Quo makes great bronzers. I really like a lot of their face stuff. I, however, do not need 3 of them, so I'm going to keep the golden one, but overall these are all really nice powders. I do not find that the kind of circular thing in the middle there looks a little bit nipply, if you ask me, kind of like those Charlotte Tilbury things, but anyways, I don't find that the center shade really does a whole lot of anything, but I am going to keep the golden one and get rid of these two, but I do like them. I don't need 3. If you're looking for a drugstore contour option and you're a similar skin tone to mine and you live in the United States, the Black Radiance Rich Mahogany Face Powder is a great kind of like cool toned but not super gray powder that I've been using. The Essence Contour Powder I don't really like the powder and it's not a good match for me. And then this is from NYX, their No Filter powder, really nice, similar to the Wet n Wild powder that I mentioned earlier, but I don't need this. I have the NYX bronzer that I love and it is quite deep. So these two will go and this will stay. Believe it or not, these are not all the same brand. The top 2 here are Nikki Garrett. It's a Canadian brand, and I really like their powders. This one is a little deep for me, however, it's in the shade dark. I am gonna keep medium, and then this on the bottom is the Sleek Contour Kit, also in the shade medium. This was actually, I said the NYX one was my first, but this was actually my first bronzer, and you can see pan is starting to be hit there. I've had it for probably too long to be keeping it, but I do really like both of these. The highlight isn't like crazy shiny or anything like that. It's kind of before highlighters were crazy shiny, but it is a great affordable option, and Sleek does ship to Canada from their website, and you can get it on Ulta as well now. These are some more very well-loved bronzers from my earlier days. The Clarins Duo Bronzer in the shade 3, and then this is the Balm Bahama Mama. This is actually quite cool, so it's kind of like a bronzer contour, and then this is just the Clarins is such a beautiful soft powder. They're both great, so I'm gonna keep them. So these are from Mark, that kind of sister brand to Avon. These are their powder foundations that they sent me to review, but they're too deep for me and I was using them as a bronzer. So I'm going to keep the shade Medium Deep 7 and get rid of Medium Deep 8. These are 3 bronzers that I've really been enjoying lately. This is from Beauty Counter. It's in the shade 2. It's kind of like a little bit of a cooler tone bronzer from the Victoria Beckham collection. I really didn't think this would work for me in the shade Java Sun, but it's really nice, beautiful, soft powder. And then this is from the MAC Fruity Juicy collection, but it's refined golden and it has a little bit of a shimmer in it from MAC. I think I said that, but I do like that as well, so these are gonna stay. I don't feel like I'm doing as well as I've done in other declutters. I feel like I'm not getting rid of very much. But anyways, these are Becca Perfecting Face Powders. I'm gonna keep Warm Honey and get rid of this darker one because it's too dark. And then from MAC, this is the Next to Nothing powder in the shade dark, which is too dark for me. It almost oxidized a little bit. I felt like in my review it went kind of red, so I'm gonna get rid of these 2. Okay, here's 2 that I'm gonna get rid of. This is from the Clarins Summer Collection. Packaging is beautiful. I actually like the bronzer, but there's no point of me keeping this because you can't buy it anymore. And then this is actually from Maybelline. I think my boyfriend got it in Serbia, or yeah, I think he brought it back for me from Serbia. It's not available in North America, I don't think. I actually don't mind the contour shade in here, but I don't reach for it because it's in this little duo format, so I'll get rid of this. I have some more drugstore bronzers here. This is the City Colored Be Matte Bronzer in Chocolate Truffle. I haven't even used this yet, so that's gonna stay. From Pixi, this is their sculpting powder, and I think it's just a hair too cool tone for me. It is really nice, super, super soft, so if you have a lighter skin tone, it may be good for you. And then this is the Wet n Wild Dulce de Leche, and I really like this. I wanna get the one with the more yellow powder. What I actually really like in these are the under eye powders, but the bronzers are nice too, super soft and blendable. So I have some snazzier contours here. This is the NARS Melina Duo. I actually got this in a buns trade. I've mentioned this website before, but it's like a trading website here in Toronto, and you basically trade like new makeup, lightly used makeup. So I traded something for this. I don't remember what, so I'm gonna keep that. And then from Burberry, this is their Dark Earthy Blush, and it's just too light for me. I used it as a nose contour before, but I mean, like, I don't need a Burberry nose contour. It's just not something I require, so this will go. Okay, change of plans. I'm gonna get rid of this Mark face powder because I actually have a Mark bronzer, and the whole reason I was keeping this was so that I would have, you know, a Mark bronzer in case I overdo a full face of Mark or something like that. So I will keep this one, and this one will now go. This one is in the shade Low Tide. These are both a little newer to me, but I do like them both. This is Model's Own bronzer in Deep Tan, and then the Makeup Geek bronzer in Burnish. I really like both of these soft blendable powders. They're good, they will stay. And then this is the Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I could probably use the deep chocolate one, but this does work for me. And then the Rodial Instaglam contour powder in Deep. I'm gonna keep both of these. This is from Pure. I got it in some kind of like holiday set, I think, and I haven't reached for it, so I mean, it's nice, it feels good, but I mean, if I haven't touched it yet, it probably should go. As if I didn't have enough bronzers, I bought some recently. You would have seen these in a haul already, I think. That should be up. This is the NARS Sun Wash Diffusing Bronzer in Philosophies, probably butchering that. Laura Mercier Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder in number 6, and then the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand in Medium Deep. So these are all staying, still in a box, haven't even touched them yet. So I feel like this is taking way longer than my other ones. If you're still here, let's move on to the cream contour products. If you watch my videos at all, you know that I love the Wet n Wild contour stick in Where's Waldo. It's one of the best cream contours out there, super affordable, but I do have it in a bit of a lighter shade, which isn't as good, so that will go, but this will of course stay. From Physicians Formula and Maybelline, these guys are going just because they're inconvenient and they're silly, and I don't understand how these made it to the shelves, so these will go. Some more great drugstore contours. These are from Rimmel. These are their Duo Insta Sticks, and I really like both of these. I use medium and deep, and super blendable, really nice, and the highlight on them is nice too, so these will stay. They're well loved. Look how messy. My absolute favorite cream contour is from Dior, and not only are they like 60 bucks, they were actually a limited edition to their fall collection, and I love these. The closest thing I have to them is the Wet n Wild, so that is why I love the Wet n Wild so much, but I am going to keep these. They're so good. I've used the shade ones. Wow, I've been talking a lot this morning. I've used shades 1, 2, and 3, and they're all great. So if you do happen to see them somewhere, they're good. I have 3 more sticks here. These are the Smashbox Trio, 2 of 3. I'm gonna keep the contour and get rid of the bronze because the bronze isn't a great shade for me. And then this is the MAC Studio Fix Concealer, their Perfecting Concealer in NW45. This was sent to me for a review, and I thought I could maybe use it as a contour because it's too dark for my skin, but it's definitely more of a concealer than it is a contour, so I'm going to get rid of it. 2 concealers that I do like as contours / bronzers are the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This one is an espresso, and then this one is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer, and it's in cocoa, and they both this makes a bit more of a bronzer than a contour, but they're really nice and blendable, super affordable obviously, so they'll stay. I have 2 duos here. This is the Wet n Wild dual-ended contour stick in medium tan, and it's not dark enough for me, so this will go. And then from Nude Sticks, this is new to me, but it's also their duo in medium tan, and I do quite like this, so I'm going to keep this. I have the Mary Kay Perfecting Concealer, which I love as a concealer, but I'm going to get rid of this one. It's in deep bronze. I don't use it. And then from Burberry, if you can tell, this is their contour stick in deep, and it is actually quite dark, if you can tell there. I do like this, so I'm going to hold on to it. And then lastly, I have the NARS Contouring Duo in Oahu, and I'm going to keep this. From Tarte, this is their Stick Foundation in Rich Tan. I will keep this. And then this probably should have been in my foundation declutter. It's in the shade Golden Tan, which I've got tons of swatches here on my hand, but I swatched it, and it's not really, it's just kind of like a foundation that doesn't match me. It doesn't really make it a bronzer, even though it is a little bit deeper than my skin, so this will go. It was only a matter of time until this happened. I've had a lot of really successful declutters, so I think I've earned a not so successful declutter. It depends how you define success, I guess. So I have 55 bronzers staying, 21 going. I actually, as a last minute decision, decided to get rid of the second Guerlain bronzer and the Becca face powder because I already have a Guerlain and Becca bronzer that I really like. So here is what is staying. All of these guys. And here is what is going. Oh, I also decided to get rid of one of the NYX bronzers because I don't need a backup. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below what you would like me to take on next. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!